Hey y'all, it's Barry with Grown Roots Farm. How's it going? Today I'm going over some of our chicken tractors, what has worked and really what hasn't. I know some of these videos come across as showing you maybe all the good stuff. I'm going to show you one of the bad things that happened with one of our chibbits and when it was working and when it wasn't. So let me explain. So you probably have seen in other videos, we've got main chicken, we call it the chibbit. It used to have our chickens and rabbits in it, and then another another one that, as you can tell based off of the wheels, did not work very well. But let me back up some on this. You see these wheels did not hold up. These are bike wheels, and the weight just never held up. But let me explain. When we were using this one initially, this thing worked great. For the purpose that it was intended, it did its job and it did it very well. And we did not have the issues with the wheels at the time. At the time, what we were doing was, pretty much following Billy Bond's chicken tractor on steroid ideas off of his channel, and it worked perfect for that because you only move this up incrementally, a small few feet at a time, and it worked really well. The weight of it went fine. We had the door that went down, and then I'll show you the backside. We've taken them out since then. Actually, they're up here. We use those milk crates. We had milk crates there, so they laid their eggs in the back there. And then this top flips up. Well, when we first started using this, we were putting a, what you see in here, I've screwed this thing shut. This is why I'm having to do this. Some of the chickens are under it. We used a tarp under here when we were doing that chicken tractor on steroid idea. And the purpose of the tarp was, instead of all the manure going underneath the chibbit pretty much every night, what we would do is we'd collect it in the tarp, and then every few days or a week, we'd pull it out of there and we'd dump it into compost piles. It worked really well. We just quit doing it because, for one, we had just too many other things going on at the time. So let me back up here. So we stopped doing the chicken tractor on steroid idea, and I will say it worked. It worked really well. We got some decent compost out of it, and that might be a method we go back to in the future. But for right now, we've got everything out rotationally grazing, and that method doesn't exactly work as well. You could implement it, but it doesn't work as well in this setting. And when we started doing the rotational grazing, we were moving the chicken chibbit, or the chicken tractor, around much further distances. And what happened, we're moving on rougher terrain and we're moving it quicker because I was moving it with the mower instead of by hand. And that's when the tires started collapsing on us, or the wheels started collapsing. We already had, take it up here, try not to get the sun back in your all's eyes. We already had the chibbit here. I had built this 3 years or so ago, and we've got other videos on it, but it's just on a, I think it's a 5x7 Tractor Supply corrugated metal bottom. I used what material I had at the time. Let me back this up a little bit. Whoop, wrong way. I used what I had material-wise at the time. This is all actually ash. We had a bunch of dead ash trees on our property, and that's when I had just first started. These were all actually cut, I think, with the chainsaw mill, or maybe it was one of my first cuts with our sawmill, or either one. It's been a while, but all the wood on here is ash, and the roof hasn't held up great. The plastic hasn't held up great. We no longer use the side boxes. Maybe we could incorporate these into nesting boxes, modify them, but basically, we are getting ready to get rid of the Chibit and the chicken tractor. What we're going to do, the Chibit has served its purpose really, really well. Part of the reason we built it the way it is because when we were moving, we moved about an hour south of where we used to live. We didn't have any other way. We don't have a trailer at the time. We didn't have any other way of getting all the chickens from the property up north to down here. So I ended up building this. Now, if you've ever seen Beverly Hillbillies and, you know, saw some strange people driving chickens in a handmade chicken tractor, or Chibit as we call it, down, you know, down a main road, I've got some pretty good looks on that drive. And I will say I was pretty nervous on that drive. I really didn't know how it would hold up. I had some more diagonal bracing and such on here, but I'll digress. It was, we've never looked more redneck in my life. But it got the job done and it's worked really well. But what we're doing is I'm going to be bringing you all on a video series here, hopefully within the month, hopefully within the next, hopefully later this month, I'll be having it out. I'm taking I think it's 12 foot long, 10.5, 12 foot long. It's not a very long wagon chassis, but I'm taking an older wagon chassis. We're going to be building it into a new Chibit. I keep calling it a Chibit, and that's kind of like our own name because it was the Chicken Rabbit Mobile. I need to come up with a new name for this new build. But either way, it's going to be a new chicken tractor. It's going to be a little bit of a, if you know of any Joel South and stuff, it's going to be kind of a mixture between his Millennium Falcon that they did for their egg layers and one of their big box ones. It's going to be kind of a combination of that. And it's going to have, I still like having the nesting boxes on the outside where I can access them, but they're going to run along the sides. So we're going to have a lot more nesting boxes. It's going to be a little bit longer than this. And I'm going to integrate the water into it all, adding some gutter system running down, and it'll all be on a wagon chassis. Then this will finally get dismantled and we'll be utilizing the trailer for other things around the property, which we desperately need right now. So, and then the poor chicken tractor that's wheels are literally falling off. We'll scrap it for parts. We'll do what we can, but I think it's seen better days. But either way, I wanted to show you that's kind of the good. Now I will say this looks pretty trashy. This did its job at least somewhat. It already had a couple holes in it, but we needed more shade for the chickens over the last month. We had a pretty good wind come through here about a week ago, and it ripped it to shreds. And I just have not replaced it yet. It still is providing a little bit more shade than what they'd have otherwise. But this has served, this has been a terrific build for us. It really has, it's been predator proof. It's been a really nice design. Let me show you with some of the sheep and the goats in the background. You know, you got the door that they go in and out of. This used to close up better, but we've had some issues with the gate. But they go in and out of that spot. They all handle it just fine. They all roost in there, and it's worked really, really well. Plus, it's also pretty easy to move. We move it with our mower. It's got a 3-point hitch on the back. So we move it all over the property. It's worked great, but we've expanded on our chickens because we're doing a lot more eggs at the farmer's market now. So we have a lot more chickens than when we started with this, and we need more room. So more room, more nesting boxes, and if I can incorporate everything into kind of one system, it'll also help cut down our time moving with all of our rotational grazing. But kind of does it for this video. Just kind of wanted to show you kind of where we're starting at, or not really where we're starting, but where we've been with our chicken tractors, and bring you along the journey here in the next month on building the new one, and hopefully coming up with a better design. It's going to be a unique design. I've never seen one built like this, like the way I'm getting ready to build it. But that doesn't scare me. That's just more fun. That's the, kind of got all the plans in my head and going to make it all work out. So looking forward to it. But keep watching. Thanks. Give me a like and subscribe down there, and love the comments. Keep them coming. See you all next time.